Welcome to Gerald Khalil's Conversation Piece. I share my thoughts on social content in sports, politics, and entertainment. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Well, let's get right into this. The Minnesota Timberwolves eliminate the Lakers in 5 games. Game 5, they won 103-96. Rudy Gobert, I'm going to repeat that. Rudy Gobert, 27 points, 24 rebounds. Man, I'm looking at that game, and he was just like, it was like a man against little boys, right? He just towered over the Lakers. The Lakers had no height, nothing in the middle to even just have any sort of resistance against the man. He had a career night. Those were his highs in the playoffs. 27 points, 24 rebounds. Julius Randle, he played great again. 23 points, and he had gotten to some foul trouble, but that didn't stop him. He still did well. And Ant Edwards, he only scored 15 points, right? But he had 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He went 0 for 11 from the three-point line. And I couldn't believe that. He just could not hit from the three-point line, but he contributed in other ways, man. This dude has grown to be a leader. And I mean, think about it, man. He alone, I'm not going to say alone, but he took out both LeBron and Luka at once, right? And he was one who had said that he was going to do it, and he did it, man. So, man, I got to give my flowers to Ant Edwards. Jaden McDaniels, he didn't do too much. I mean, he's been a thorn in the side for the Lakers this whole series, but yesterday he didn't do too much. He had gotten into foul trouble. I think he ended up with 8 points. Naz Reid only finished with 3 points. He didn't do much. Overall, the bench play for the Timberwolves, it was okay, but you think about what I just said to you, and they still beat the Lakers. And here's the thing. They knew how to finish. They finished quarters. Lakers didn't finish quarters, right? Again, the big height disadvantage. The Timberwolves destroyed the Lakers on the glass. It was one possession where they had like 5 offensive rebounds in a row. They didn't score. But it was just like Lakers had nothing. As far as the Lakers, they were led by Luka Doncic. He had 28 points. LeBron had 22. Rui Hachimura, he had 23. Their bench did absolutely nothing. And that leads me to JJ Redick. JJ Redick, man. Despite Minnesota beating the hell out of the Lakers on the glass, he stayed with that small lineup. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, right? If you didn't see the game, right? He didn't play Jackson Hayes, period, right? And when he went with height, he decides to go with Max Kluber. Max Kluber hadn't played since January. He came in with the Luka Doncic trade from Dallas. And I'm like, well, I'm looking at this, wait a minute, this dude, and as soon as he gets in, Kluber, or Kleber, however you say his name, Max Kleber, excuse me, I mean, he gets abused. I don't know what in the heck JJ Redick was thinking about. That was as bizarre as game 4, where he played his starters for over the whole second half, right? Without any rest. But it was bizarre to me. And those who back JJ Redick, man, you think about this. This has to be karma. This has to be his karma for talking down on Darvin Ham and Doc Rivers. Because when he had his podcast, no, let me go further back than that. When he was on ESPN as an analyst, he would talk down on those guys. And I know definitely Doc Rivers, he was definitely talking down on. But the whole Darvin Ham thing, man, JJ Redick was supposed to come in here and he was supposed to be the new Pat Riley. That's what they said. He was going to be the new Pat Riley. He was going to be the coach of the future for this Laker organization. And maybe he still will. But the way Darvin Ham was treated, where if we look at the 2 seasons Darvin Ham was with the Lakers, he brought them to the Western Conference Finals. And they lost to the eventual champion Denver Nuggets. And then he lost in the first round the next year against the Nuggets. Yeah, that was really the only team he couldn't get by. And now we have JJ Redick, who was touted to be, they got rid of Darvin Ham. We have JJ Redick, who was touted to be all of this and all of that as far as a coach. And then he gets bounced in the first round against a Minnesota Timberwolves team. Now, granted, Minnesota's good, but the Lakers were heavily favored in this series. I mean, I picked them to win by 5 games. A lot of folks picked them to win by 5 games or 6 at the most. And at the end of the day, the Wolves just beat them. It was no Lakers loss. No, the Wolves beat them. The Wolves knew how to close quarters. And even when it was times like last night, when the Lakers took the lead a couple of times, it was, I think it was in the third quarter, and I think a little bit in the fourth. There was really no time where you thought the Lakers going to win. No, the Wolves were like, okay, let's hit a 3-pointer here, or let's make a defensive stop here, then score. Now the lead's back up to 5-6 points. It doesn't seem to me that at any time the Timberwolves was sweating. And that's another thing. I'm going to get back to the Lakers here. The Lakers, to me, they came out flat. They came out flat. They came out nervous. JJ Redick was like on edge. And he just showed he was a rookie head coach. So he has a way to go. And but you know, the whole Darvin Ham slander, that stuff has to stop. I know a lot of Laker fans are just, you know, they were really down on Darvin Ham, and now you got JJ Redick, and now you're out of the playoffs in the first round, 5 games, gentleman's sweep. So for those folks that pro JJ Redick, anti Darvin Ham, let's not hear it today. Now we have a video of LeBron James, and this was his post game comments. Let's check it out, and I'll come back and give my thoughts on it.
You've taken on so many different challenges in your career. Being paired mid-season with another ball-dominant superstar, it was one that you'd never had before. How did that go? What were the challenges with that? In what areas do you think that pairing could be better in the future with more time?
Yeah, anytime you make an acquisition or a big acquisition in the middle of the season, it's always going to be challenging. You know, and not only for me, but for AR and for the rest of the group on how we were playing. I mean, we went from, you know, the ball, wanting to touch the ball in AD's hands, either off pick and rolls or off post ups or off elbow catches. But it started with myself and AR kind of handling the ball handling, and then making sure we got 80 the ball. And the whole obviously dynamic changed. When we made the acquisition of Luka, to how can we change our approach to best fit his game, and how can we center our game around his. I think it's always challenging when you make like I said, a big acquisition like that. There were times where we, obviously didn't look so well, a couple games early on. But I think we kind of figured it out, kind of later in the season. The more and more games we had, I still don't think we had enough time to mesh. But for the time that we had, I thought we ended the regular season very well to, be top 3 in the West. And obviously, we know how tough the West is. I thought that was a good test for us. And, we had some challenges, but I think, ultimately having a guy like that is very dynamic for any franchise.
LeBron, basically from mid-January on, right when AD got injured, you guys started playing a lot of centerless basketball, and that required a lot from you and Doe and Rui and then Vando once he got back. Just from a physical, taxing standpoint, how tough was that for the last 3.5 months to play that style, and do you feel like that caught up at all in this series?
No comment. I'll never say that, because my guy AD said what he needed, and then he was gone the following week. So I got no comment. I put that uniform on every night. I gave everything I had, and that's all that matters.
Now, what did you hear? To me, I heard a lot of AD, meaning Anthony Davis, and I heard it was almost like he was sneak dissing Rob Pelinka. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but it's almost like it's his fault. Okay, now Rob Pelinka bought you Luka Doncic. And I mean, yeah, he could have done more, and he tried to get more. If you remember, he tried to get Mark Williams. That trade fell through because, and actually the Lakers nixed the trade because of Mark Williams' health. So if they would have had Mark Williams in the middle, that could have definitely helped them. To help the Lakers against a tall Minnesota Timberwolves team. But, for him to, say what he said it was kind of curious. It's like, well, okay, well, wait a minute. Weren't you kind of behind the Luka Doncic for AD trade? That's what I was hearing. First, I was hearing he wasn't, then I heard that he was. Now, all of a sudden, you weren't now. And maybe I'm reading too much into that, but man, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes LeBron, man, he just, that passive aggressive delivery of his is something else, just give it up that the Timberwolves were just better. They were just a better team. And meanwhile, Timberwolves, they go on to play the winner of the Rockets-Warriors series. Lakers, where do they go from here? Well, they're going to have to get some height. They're going to have to get something in the middle. But, that's just one thing. Can Luka and LeBron play together still? Because one thing, let's keep it 100. When I was seeing, and especially when they went small, which they stayed small this whole last game, but with Luka bringing the ball up, usually teams that play small, they play fast. And with Luka running the show, that team was not fast at all. And Luka's not that type of ball handler or, someone who's going to push the offense like that. Mainly the offense definitely runs through him, as LeBron said in the audio clip there. But, it's like, if you're going to go small, you got to go quick. And with Luka at the point, is not going to go quick. But, maybe, I don't know, LeBron thinking it would have been better running through him. Maybe, but see, here's the thing. The Lakers, they didn't get Luka Doncic, to worry about all of that. They're thinking about Luka Doncic in the future. They're not worried about how it's going to benefit LeBron James. They're just not. That trade was for the Lakers' future. So, yeah, they're going to need a big man. And I don't know how they're going to get one at this point, but I'm sure they'll figure something out. Maybe someone will do another dumb trade. Maybe Giannis will end up there. I know I'm chuckling, but never know. Adam Silver. It'll be like calling up the front office of the Bucks, saying, "Hey, let's try to work something to get Giannis to the Lakers." I don't know. I'm just kidding, though. But, well, once again, Lakers eliminated. Please leave a comment. I'll talk to you soon.